Hey everyone, my name is Cheryl and I'm a mom to a 5-month-old baby boy, Jethro. So in this video, I'll be going through my breastfeeding journey so far. And yeah, I guess the aim of the video is really just to share my story with as many moms out there as possible so that they can learn from what I've been through, like the mistakes I've made, the things that I think went well, the things that I feel like could be better. Yeah, because I think the breastfeeding journey is the hardest part of taking care of a newborn. I would say that hands down. Because like to me, like changing diapers, taking care of his naps, taking care of his wake times, etc., sleep, like I think that's still manageable in the sense that like it's something that I can like always just pass on to my husband or like to another caregiver. But when it comes to breastfeeding, once you are committed to the journey, it can really take quite a toll on you at the point in your physical life where it's probably the most traumatized. Like you've been through like childbirth and like immediately you're expected to full on like go breastfeed. Yeah, so definitely this video is also like a way for me to remember what I've been through, because I feel like it's been such a monumental journey in my life. So yeah, here we go. I'll be looking at my phone a little bit throughout this video because I wrote some notes about what I want to go through. So yeah, if I look away from the screen, I'm not having bad eye contact or anything. Just looking at my notes. All right, so things I wish I knew about things I wish I knew about breastfeeding before having a baby. So just some background. I gave birth in October 2021, on 3rd October 2021. So that is exactly 5 months ago. I've had the privilege of taking some time off work a few weeks before I gave birth, and I've also extended my maternity leave to be a bit beyond what is the usual in Singapore where I'm at. So all in all, I took a total of 6 months off work, which really gave me enough time to learn about breastfeeding before and after I gave birth. Also, I thought. So when I entered 37 weeks of my pregnancy, I was already on leave. Actually, I had a lot of leave because of the COVID leftovers. Like people couldn't do anything, so like yeah, I was just accumulating on my leave here. Um, I was expressing colostrum for a few reasons, approved by my gynae, of course. For a few reasons, because firstly, like I was quite keen to see if it would actually induce the baby to come out earlier, because that's what science says apparently, that like the more you try and express colostrum, like the likelier it is that your child might like be induced by like the what's going on out externally. Yeah, so I knew that like my gynae told me that Jethro is head down but he isn't very engaged yet. So I was thinking like maybe like if I express caution we could speed things along, and plus it would give me a bit of storage for when he comes, and then I have some milk to feed him already if let's say like for some reason like my actual boobs like doesn't produce yet. So, yeah, for a good week or so, I would be expressing every day, like, and then collecting it in a little syringe that I could buy from Guardian. So about like 5-10 ml, like woo, like that's like super impressive, like in my opinion, because my child isn't even out yet and I'm already expressing. So I would like diligently sit there for like 45 minutes or something, which in retrospect, like I feel like maybe I shouldn't have stressed myself out so much about it, because like firstly, like I think it is not necessary to have a stash when you're before your baby is out, because like your body will know what to do, and like nothing beats having direct latch when baby is just born, because that's like something that's very intuitive to both mother and child. And like yeah, like I would do away with the pumping of colostrum before I give birth. So what happened on 3rd October when my child was born was that I was in labor for 50 hours. Yes, 50 hours. That's like slightly over 2 whole days. It was an induced labor, so they induced me by pill twice. They manually broke my water bag, and essentially Jethro only came out of my womb after about 10 hours of like dilation. Yeah, and it was very interesting because I didn't expect that it would take so long, and that I actually took 1 hour to push him out. So I read of stories of moms only taking like 10 minutes, like even if it's their first birth and also, yeah, whoa, it's a long birth, but I guess it's a story for another day. Let's stick to the breastfeeding. So I prepared myself on my breastfeeding journey by buying a few things, which I'll go through what is necessary and what isn't really necessary. I bought the Higan set. So Higan is a local brand in Singapore. I bought Higan breast pump. I bought the Higan bottles, so like the whole set. It costs about $600 in total. That I definitely recommend. I know that Higan pump is often compared to many other pumps out there, like for example the Spectra pump, which many people love, many people swear by. Yeah, but I only had the experience of using 2 pumps ever. So I've only bought Higan and Real Booby. So Real Booby is a cheap pump. It's probably like $20 on Shopee. I bought that because I wanted to compare with the Higan pump to see which one is more comfortable, and like hands down Higan it's very gentle, very comfortable. I would really recommend it, and it's so easy to pump into the Higan bottles. Definitely no regrets like buying the bottles and the pump set. But maybe in the future I might want to try the Spectra pump because I hear so many moms rave about it. So I wonder what's so good about it. Yeah. So other than the Higan pump set, I also bought the Higan pump comes with a manual pump. So that was what I was using to express my colostrum. I would pump using the manual pump, and then only after I gave birth, then I started using the electric pump. So that would make my life a lot easier because I could just plonk it on and sit there and it would do its thing. Yeah, so I bought Haka pump, the one where you use the suction to attach it to your boob. But I didn't really like it because when I was latching my newborn, I was like, where does this pump go? I would typically have him lie on the nursing pillow. You see there? Yeah. Oh, sorry for dirty laundry. But yeah, I would have him lie on the nursing pillow, and then he would be his head would be on one side, and then on the other side is oh my gosh, I don't have space for the Haka pump because your body is lying like this. So honestly, eventually I just stopped using the Haka pump because it was more trouble than help to collect the milk that flowed from the other boob. Yeah, so that I would reconsider buying if I were you, someone who is looking at what to buy, because I don't think it's totally necessary. Unless of course you are very careful with your breast milk, you really want to save every drop, then yes, go get it, because there will be breast milk flowing out of your boob when the other side is being latched. So I also bought Tommy TP storage bags because for some reason I was thinking of a frozen stash already, which in retrospect I really shouldn't have been thinking about it. I just kept thinking about, oh my god, I need to get a frozen stash going 3 weeks into the birth. Oh my god, why do I only have 1 or 2 packs? But yeah, I think that's not the point. The point of having breast milk is to feed your baby, not the fridge. I read that somewhere, and it really anchored me, because I found myself being quite stressed about creating a frozen stash a few weeks into the birth, after the birth. Yeah, and I don't think that's necessary, because why? Why do you need a frozen stash? Sure, for emergencies, but along the way, after your breast milk has been regulated, then that's when you start thinking about a frozen stash. Because even up till now, I have so much milk in the freezer, not because I try my best to overexpress or make myself oversupply mom, but it's really because I always prioritize what Jethro needs first in terms of his milk, and then if there's still left over, then that goes in the freezer. Because honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with the frozen stash. I don't plan to feed him with it, because I think I would prefer giving him fresh milk. Yeah, so the Tommy TP bags, I have so many of them. They are in that little drawer there. Yeah, but yeah, to me it's more of a rainy day thing. I don't see it as something that I would actively want to use. Yeah. So when I gave birth to Jethro, unfortunately, I was asked by the doctor to give formula milk. So what happened was um a day after he was born, we were doing latching so well, like no pumping at all, just latch. Every time baby would cry, I'll just put him in my breast, so on and so forth. I was like, yeah, let's do this, man. We got this exclusive breastfeeding thing going on, and then my husband was very supportive as well. Like we both went for antenatal classes about like how to feed your baby through breastfeeding, and we were like very determined to do it. Yeah, but unfortunately, Jethro like had high jaundice the next couple of days when we went to the polyclinic, and he was admitted to KK, and it was quite a whirlwind because we, for the first time, like the doctors at the jaundice ward told us that there's this thing called breast milk jaundice, which we didn't know about. Yeah, so it's like medically proven, I guess, that like some breast milk causes jaundice. I don't know if that's the cause of Jethro's jaundice, but they did really encourage us to give formula if we don't have enough breast milk supply yet, and I didn't have enough breast milk supply yet. Jethro's weight was dropping, which is normal, but not very like, we're a bit concerned about it because like it's only been like a couple of days. Yeah, so long story short, I was like, okay, like I guess do what you gotta do. You gotta like keep him healthy, keep him alive. Yeah, just give formula. So he stayed over one night in the hospital, and my husband and I, we just went home to rest for the night. And I was like so crushed that day because like, oh man, like my child's very first taste of artificial milk. But in retrospect, like I'm really thankful for formula because without it, honestly, I don't think I would have been in a position to be like relaxed and knowing that like even if my breast milk supply isn't there, like my baby will still be very well taken care of. And like, yeah, I guess it's true what they say that like fat is best, like but of course lactation consultants would correct me and say no, like formula is second best. But to me, in my opinion, as a mother, as someone who like has seen her child look very helpless in like circumstances like jaundice, yeah, definitely you grab whatever like safety nets, safety life buoys you can, man. Like yeah, I don't think there was time to discuss about like whether breast is best or whatever, like in the jaundice ward, when everyone was just like so focused on getting like these babies like discharged. Yeah. So when Jethro came home after being hospitalized for jaundice, I spoke to a couple of lactation consultants. Like I wanted to make sure that I got breastfeeding correct because it's one thing to learn in theory and it's another thing to actually do it. So like down to like, oh my god, like, hey Keegan, customer support, how can I use your pump? And I was like so confused because I was like, didn't I go for your training webinar? Why am I still confused? And it's not them, I guess it's really me because like maybe I didn't like prepare myself enough, like, and I guess what I would learn, what I would redo if I could go back in time was I would really like talk to more mothers who have been breastfeeding. Like I don't really talk to them, maybe watch more videos like this, honestly, because I guess I had a very simplified version of breastfeeding in my mind, but there were actually quite a number of layers to it. So yeah. And then like I took the time also to talk to BMSG, Breastfeeding Mother Support Group Singapore. Wow, they're so good. Like honestly, I was texting them I think like almost every other day, like, how long can I store my breast milk in the fridge? My baby just pooped like green or something. Yeah, so like honestly, like they were my go-to, and I think they're a bunch of volunteers. Yeah, and I remember in the jaundice ward, I was calling them up on the WhatsApp hotline, going like, they want to feed my child formula. What do I do? And then like the lady on the phone was so calm and so like loving. Yeah, like if you are watching this out there, thank you so much, you really helped me a lot. And she was like saying like, you just gotta do what you gotta do, like just yeah, keep him alive and like like go with the hospital first, but when you're home you can try like skin to skin again, you can try latching more often, just trust the process that your body will come out with the supply. Yeah, so lactation consultants and BMSG were great. Thank you, Hegan, for giving us like free lactation consultant service, because I remember when Jethro was 1 week old, we actually went down to the Hegan office to talk to a lactation consultant. She was so patient, so kind, and like very encouraging. Yeah, she was like, your supply is great. Like, just go home, continue doing that, and yeah, I'm very very thankful that like although breastfeeding is quite a lonely journey in a sense that it's mostly just you and the baby, but there are really like there's really a mom tribe out there, like a lot of people who have been through it before, who are advocates for breastfeeding, like they would really walk the journey with you. So for the first month of my baby's life, we had to supplement with formula. We had to feed him about, I would say, half to a quarter of the time he would be on formula because I didn't have enough supply. And we were also battling jaundice, and we every few days we would go to the polyclinic to check his jaundice level, and every time it would drop slowly, which is very encouraging. And then I was telling Brian like since I don't have enough breast milk supply, it's not as if we have a choice, but like I think it's not a bad thing that we're like going through a mixed formula and breastfeeding route, because the formula seems to be helping with the jaundice dropping. So yeah. Oh, Brian's my husband, by the way. Okay, so in the meantime, I would power pump every day. I would do all I can to increase my supply. Power pumping, I think, was the thing that helped me the most, because like it just like this creates so much false demand like to the boob. And like I also heard from a friend that the first 6 weeks of the baby's life is when it's the best to regulate your demand. So I was working so damn hard like the first 6 weeks of my baby's life to like just keep pumping and latching, and like yeah, like it was my priority like during that period, because I knew that I wanted to breastfeed him for as at least 6 months. And for me to go through that long haul of 6 months, I really needed to like do well in the first few weeks. Like it's just discipline, man. Oh. And I'm not really a person that is very patient and disciplined normally. I'm like quite fleeting and like spontaneous. So motherhood has truly changed me. Alright, so I also took sunflower lecithin, which helps with the flow of milk. It thins the milk so that it doesn't cause clogged ducts, and it works. Until now, I've never had a clogged duct. I've never had mastitis, and even up to now, if I like skip a day or two of sunflower lecithin, I actually feel that it's a bit choked up. Yeah, so I was like, wow, like okay, like this sunflower lecithin thing really works. I also took fenugreek. It's a herb plant, that like may increase supply, but I just take it. I don't know whether it's actually helping me or not, because I've never been off it. And I also took obimin, like the normal like prenatal postnatal supplement. So everything was going fine and dandy until I think about when Jethro was 5 or 6 weeks. I was like, hey, actually I think we can afford to stop formula altogether, because at that point in time, we were only giving him formula right before he slept, like the midnight feed, because I think we were like doing the math, and we were saying like, okay, he needs 1 formula feed a day, and that we will schedule for right before the night starts, so that like he feels fuller. Like, oh, wives tale that formula makes babies fuller. So yeah, then my husband and I discussed, and we were like, okay, yeah, we can go off formula. Like, let's just not give him formula for like a few days. Let's see your supply situation, and it worked. Yay! Yeah. So I think the transition from like mixed FM to like totally BM was very very liberating, because I'm like, for the first time I can actually like not touch the tin. Yeah. So for someone whose goal was to go to complete breastfeeding, it was a very 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 happy moment. Yeah. So I was at my postpartum visit with my gynae, the 6-week postpartum visit my gynae, when she asked how's the feeding going with my baby, and I said that, oh, I'm mostly pumping because I want to see how much milk he's drinking. And then she's like, oh, but babies are very smart, like you don't really have to like keep observing like how much he's drinking, because like once they're done they'll fall asleep one. Yeah, she just said that, and I was like, that's quite true. Actually, why do I obsess over like how much he's drinking? Like I'm pretty sure he knows when to stop, and I'm pretty sure he knows when to cry, like if he's still hungry. Yeah, so after I came home from the gynae visit, I actually slowly transitioned back to a bit of a double both latching and pumping situation, which was quite nice. Like I guess I was lucky that Jethro was a baby that didn't mind latching, because I know some babies like would fuss at the breast. Yeah, so yeah, from 6 weeks to now 5 months, like we've just been like getting this great rhythm of both pumping and latching. So a typical day in my breastfeeding journey, I will cover that in another video, but to give an overview, I actually latch in the middle of the night for his night feeds, and I pump the rest of the day. In the daytime, I would offer him breast first. If he doesn't want the breast, then I'll give him the bottle. Yeah. So that's our rhythm for the day. And yeah, I think one thing I like about pumping is that family members can feed him too. So like my husband, like or his like Jethro's grandparents, like whoever else is taking care of Jethro, like yeah, you just tag him like, cause like it's not realistic that I'm always ready to latch. Like for example, if I just came home from yoga, like I'm all sweaty and stuff, and I don't want to feed him, right? Like when I'm so like sticky, and like it could also be that I'm going out for dinner with friends, which like happened like only once or twice, unfortunately, because like, I'm so busy, baby. But yeah, I cannot be always with him, I feel. So I think it's realistic and a blessing that like breast pumps exist, because yeah, like it frees me of the like responsibility of always being with Jethro. So yeah, things I wish I knew, like in conclusion, is that firstly, get more than one pump if you can, so that you can try different brands and see which one works for you. I don't regret buying 2, because when I go back to work, I'm gonna put 1 in my office, so I don't have to like bring so many around. And secondly, the second thing I would do is stand by a tin of formula. I know for someone whose goal is to completely breastfeed, it's very tempting to be like, no, I'm not gonna buy formula, I don't need it. But what happened to us, Brian and I, was that on day 3, I think when Jethro just came back from Jaundice ward, I was like, damn, I think he needs more milk. And then Brian, my husband, had to literally run to NTUC to get a tin of formula, and then he was like reading the instructions in the lift, like 3 scoops, 180 ml or something, and then like baby was crying upstairs, and yeah, it was quite chaotic. I realized that if I had a standby of formula sitting in my kitchen, it would have been a lot more relaxing. And you know, like rest and relaxing is the number one thing you gotta do to like increase your supply. And also drink more water. Water helps a lot. I actually had lactation cookies, but honestly I don't think that helped. Like it was just like yummy. But because when I went off it, like my supply didn't change, or it actually increased. Yeah, so I think honestly, like the most productive thing to do for me, what worked for me, was more latching, skin to skin, and more pumping. Yeah, the first 6 weeks I was a zombie. I didn't sleep at all, because I was either latching, changing diapers, or pumping. And yeah, I was very, very, very close to like going through baby blues. I think I went through a bit of it, but like it helped to talk to people. That like I talked to my husband, I talked to my parents, I talked to like my in-laws, talked to my like everybody. Like just like texted people and verbally talked to people, so like I could like remember, you know, that there's a world out there beyond me and baby. Yeah. So thanks for listening to my breastfeeding journey. My history of breastfeeding has been quite a challenge. I wouldn't have traded for the world though. I am very, very happy looking at Jethro now, looking at his chunky legs, seeing that like I am the source of his food. Like it's a very rewarding thing to go through. But then again, like if I were a low supply mom, I wouldn't have beat myself up for it, because yeah, I think it's not really about like how you feed your child, but it's about how you stay committed to how you want to like feed your child. Like yeah, I think there's honestly no right or wrong. Do whatever works for you. But this video was really for moms in Singapore, I guess, who are really genuinely looking to go full breastfeeding. This is my story, and I'll be back with another video about how to no, not how to, but rather like how I go about my day. I pump about 800 ml a day, and that's not including latching time of about anywhere from half an hour to 1 hour. I'm not really oversupply mom, I'm just slightly oversupply. Like at the end of the day, there would be maybe like 200-300 ml of milk that is left over, so I would freeze those. Sometimes there won't be enough milk left. I would have to eat into like yesterday's milk. Yeah, so I think the thing about the baby is that his demand is always changing. Every day it changes. Yeah. So thanks for watching.